All right, let's talk about something that's on a lot of people's minds: AI and your money. It's a topic that's creating a whole lot of confusion, maybe even a little bit of anxiety. So, what we're going to do today is figure out how these two worlds are really colliding and what it actually means for your financial future. Okay, let's just cut right to the chase and ask the one question I think is bugging pretty much everyone. With all the crazy headlines about AI, it's so easy to start wondering, wait a minute, is some faceless algorithm, some mysterious black box now in charge of my life savings? Look, it's a totally fair question, and that uncertainty, it's real. The thing is, we're operating in a completely new environment now. The financial world is just moving at lightning speed. There's this constant flood of AI-generated noise, and unfortunately, the scams and the hype are popping up everywhere. In a world this chaotic, having a clear, trusted guide is, well, it's more critical than ever before. So yeah, this isn't just about some fancy new technology. This is a fundamental shift in how investing and financial planning even work. And to navigate this new era, you absolutely need a clear framework. This quote right here really gets to the heart of it. A financial advisor just can't afford to stick their head in the sand on this one. The tools the biggest players on Wall Street are using, they just got an incredible upgrade. So an advisor's job now has two parts. First, to shield you from the risks of this new tech, and second, to figure out how to harness its power for your benefit. So how are we supposed to think about all this? Honestly, the most important mental shift you can make is this. Stop seeing AI as some scary replacement for your advisor and start seeing it as an incredibly powerful new tool in their toolkit. And this slide right here, this is where we clear up the biggest misconception out there. A robo-advisor, that's basically an automated black box. You put your money in, and an algorithm just runs the show. But an advisor using AI, that's a completely different ballgame. Think of them as a human expert using technology as a microscope to spot tiny details no one else sees, and as a co-pilot to test out different flight paths for your financial future. This is the key message right here. Your advisor isn't being replaced, they're being enhanced. The whole point is to use AI to get faster and smarter, which allows them to make better informed decisions collaboratively with you. That human-to-human relationship is still and always will be at the absolute center of it all. Okay, so if that's the right way to think about it, what's the right way to talk about it? How should this conversation actually play out between you and your advisor? Well, it turns out there's a simple 3-part blueprint that any advisor can use to explain AI with total clarity. The structure is really simple and logical. First, you set the stage. Why are we even talking about this? Second, you get super specific about how the tool is actually used. And third, and this is the big one, you give powerful reassurance about what stays exactly the same. So that first step is all about the why. It's about looking at that new reality we talked about earlier, the incredible speed, all the noise, the new risks. This context explains why grabbing new tools isn't just a gimmick, it's an absolute necessity to protect you and to find an advantage. And here's where we pull back the curtain and demystify the tech. Using AI sounds so vague and, frankly, a little intimidating. But in practice, it really just boils down to these 4 concrete jobs. It's a research filter, a scenario builder, a tool for decision clarity, and a way to ensure consistency. It's a practical assistant, not some mysterious oracle. Let's make this even more real. As a research filter, an advisor can use something like ChatGPT to scan a mountain of news and data. And then, and this part is crucial, they verify the important stuff. As a scenario builder, they can instantly model questions like, hey, what if you wanted to retire 3 years earlier? For decision clarity, it helps lay out the pros and cons of a tough choice side by side. And for consistency, it just makes sure no critical details ever get missed. Now, explaining the tools is important, for sure, but it all leads up to the most critical part of the entire conversation: reinforcing what is timeless, what is irreplaceable, and that is the human element. The crucial point is this. These are the 3 non-negotiable anchors. Number 1, a human being is always in charge, period. Number 2, your personal goals and your values, the things we discover through real conversation, they drive every single decision. And number 3, the advisor, the person, not the software, is the one who's accountable for the advice and for the outcomes.
So, all of this brings us to our final point, which really anchors this entire conversation in a timeless idea. The technology, it's always going to change, but the core principles of good financial advice, those never do.
This analogy just nails it, doesn't it? AI can be a powerful engine, for sure, capable of incredible speed and performance, but an engine is totally useless without a skilled driver who knows the destination and, just as important, knows how to navigate the road to get there. That driver, that's the steward. Stewardship is really the advisor's core duty. It's got nothing to do with software or algorithms. It's all about protection, guidance, and accountability, all based on human connection and judgment, and that is the one thing that technology can never, ever replace.
So, we'll leave you with this final thought. Clarity is the antidote to fear. Now that you've seen what a really clear explanation of AI looks like, you can ask yourself a simple question. Does my advisor talk about technology with this much transparency? Because in this new era of investing, expecting that kind of clarity isn't just reasonable, it's absolutely essential.